Hi. Okay, so one way that we want to describe the motion of his object is we want to talk about how fast it goes, which is with speed. And there's all different kinds of ways to try to memorize a formula. But on speed, I know this is weird, but how I like to remember it is this. And so I'm going to write it really quick. It says distance. See, I didn't even start with speed. That's why it's weird. Distance is equal to speed times time. All right, so I've got that written here. Excellent. So we've got that on there. The next part is y. Now, if I use letters to represent the words, I have d for distance equals s. I'm going to put a little dot for time. When I look at it, it looks like dust. D equal st. Dust. Eat my dust. When I think about running fast, that's how I can remember speed. It's d equals speed times time. Okay, so I went ahead and put the distance equals speed times time in the formula up here. And here's also why I love it in this way. If I can remember that order, I'm going to try to make another little thing. There's something called triangle formulas that are awesome. And here's why. Whatever is first, right up there, always goes on top of the triangle. So that's D equals, and so this line right here kind of represents the equal sign, ST. Now, if I can remember this order, then I can remember anything if I want to try to calculate the distance, the speed, or the time. So let me talk about how. So this is where the triangle formula comes in handy. You'll see up here at the top, I've got another little sheet where I've listed it. Let me go ahead and see if I can get it. Right there, see? Okay, so here's my problem. It says, what is the speed of the dog if he runs 10 meters in 5 seconds? So I know the distance already up here. So in my triangle, I'm going to put 10 meters. And then it says, if he runs 10 meters in 5 seconds. I still don't know what the speed is. That's what we're trying to find out. But I do know, that's where it said it right there, that it was 5 seconds. So I'm going to put 5 seconds. Now, why this formula is nice is if I cover up, and I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so I found this star, because what I want to do is if I can go and cover up what I'm trying to find, and so in this case it is speed, and I cover it up, then what is left is what I have to do. So in this case, I have 10 meters on top, and below it, right here, it says 5 seconds. So I know in order to find the speed, I have to take 10 meters and divide it by 5 seconds. And if I'm not sure how to do it, I can come over to the side and have 10 divided by 5, or I could use my calculator. My 5 doesn't look very good, but it would be 2, because 5 times 2 is 10. And then I know that this is 2, and we don't have any naked units. It's 2 meters per second. So that's very handy. All right, on this one it says, what is the speed of a car that drove 90 kilometers in 3 hours? So again, I'm going to take my little star, and I'm going to cover up the speed, because I don't know what that is. And then what I do know is that let's see here, do we know the speed of the car? No. Do I know how far it went? The distance? And I look over here, it says it was 90 kilometers. So I do. So I'm going to put that up here. 90 kilometers in 3 hours. And so there's where the 3 hours are. So 3 hours. So when I covered up the speed, then what I have left is 90. I'm sorry that my pen's just terrible. 90 kilometers over 3 hours. And when I do the math there, so I'm going to take 3, give myself a space over here. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Then I have 3 goes into 10 3 times. So we're going to have some repeating numbers of the 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it looks like, and I'm going to just round it to the nearest whole number. It is going to be the speed of the car, because again, that's what we were trying to find was the speed, is about 33 kilometers per hour. So I'm going to use this speed formula again, the one that distance is equal to speed times time that I've got in this triangle right here. And I'm going to show you a little bit different way, there's that formula, of how it looks. So here's the second one. It says, how long will it take Maggie, so there's how long will it take Maggie to walk 200 meters if she is walking at a rate of 2 meters per second. Now I also should tell you that rate is another word for speed. So if you see that, sometimes you'll see rate and speed for the same thing. All right, so here's my little triangle. My little stars aren't moving anymore, so we'll have to make that work. But it says, we can still look at this. Distance. Do I know the distance? Sure. It says up here 200 meters. She walked 200 meters and she's walking at a rate, and that's my speed, is 2 meters per second. How long? And in this case, I know that's tricky, but it's looking for the time. And so I don't have the time. But I still see if I cover up that T with my finger, or just imagine it, I have 200 meters on top, and I'm going to divide it by 2 meters per second. A lot of little weird math stuff that we haven't talked about, but I will tell you, if we're looking at this, our unit is going to be seconds. And if I take 200 and divide it by 2, 200 divided by 2, 2 goes into 2 once, and then 2 goes into 0, and then 2 is going to go into 0. So my final answer is 100 seconds. It's going to take Maggie 100 seconds to walk 200 meters if she's going at a rate of 2 meters per second. Last problem. It says if a cannon travels at 10 meters per second for 5 seconds, I'm going to change my color here, how far did it go? So I don't know the distance this time. It's talking about far. So I'm going over to my formula. I do not know the distance. It's who knows. But I do know that it's going 10 meters per second. Yeah, that's an M/S, sorry. And I do know that it took it 5 seconds. How far did it go? Now, check this one out. If I cover up the D, I don't have something on top of the other. This time I have a 10 meters per second, and it is right beside the 5 seconds. In this case, if they are right beside each other, that tells us we multiply them. And I know 10 times 5 is 50. And if I'm looking at the distance, it talked about it was going in meters per second. So we have 50 meters. This is 50 meters. Excellent. Now in class, I've given you a handout that says distance, time, speed, practice problems. There are a total of 12 questions, and I want you to try the first, well, 12 would be awesome, but let's just say if you can do the first 10 problems, and you can do them correctly, that means no naked numbers, we're going to include the units, that's awesome. If you get 11, even better. Number 11 is pretty tough. Number 12 is really tough. So those are some challenge questions I'd like you to try. So at least 1 through 10, but try number 11 and 12. But don't stress if you miss those. And I think that's it.